Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mellissa Thomas. Welcome to Let's Clarify. And of course, I am here with my co-host, Angel Perry, who's the Executive Vice President of the Communications Workers of America, Local 3108. Angel, how's it going?
It is going. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Absolutely. Same to you, too. I see that green. I see what you did there.
Yes.
Absolutely. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get into, especially now with the vaccines kind of out fast and furious right now. Of course, President Joe Biden had his goal of vaccinating 100 million people, and he recently reached that threshold. But we wanted to talk about the other side of vaccination, something that's not being frequently covered in the media right now, which is there are folks who are dying shortly after receiving the second vaccine. So we're here to clarify, because obviously there's a lot of reporting out there saying the deaths are not directly correlated to the vaccine, but we're here to chop it up with you guys, to remove the emotionality from the headlines. You know, that's how we always roll. We want to clarify everything that is going on. So we are here to talk about all those things. So Angel, I'll let you kick it off.
Okay, so what I've been noticing in mainstream media, whenever you have mayors and you have your governors and all the big media platforms, vaccine, go get your vaccine. Not one of the doctors or the politicians or any of the leadership is telling people this is a medical advice that they're giving, and they're not telling you consult with your physician. Okay? Mm-hmm. You're putting something in your body, and the percentages, however small, could mean that you could die from it. There's, all kinds of side effects that can happen just like with anything. Like you have Tylenol all off of the shelf, or as said, mm-hmm. the generic name of it, and you have a label on it that tells you, this is what could happen. But all of these officials and politicians and doctors and, the health organization and the CDC, if you read the fine print, it tells you, right. You need to consult a physician before you make your appointment. But they're not telling you that on your television and in your social media. They're not telling you any of it. So we came across several people that have died, direct correlation from taking the vaccine, and people need to know the whole story so they can make an educated decision about what they want to do. We have Cassidy Crew out of Utah. She was only 39 years old, single mom, died 4 days after taking the vaccine. Yeah. Her second dose of Moderna, no known health issues.
Right.
They just held a celebration of her life at 39 years old.
39.
And then a second name I have is a retired Air Force base fire pilot, military guy, no known risk, but his name was Alfred Hawley, also passed away from taking the vaccine. And I was talking with a friend of mine, Brent Nishan, and we were just going over how there's this lack of transparency, that there are side effects, there are risks involved.
There are.
You see the commercials on TV for this medicine, that medicine. There seems to be a lack of transparency and risk factors with the COVID-19 vaccine. And then they want to bash people, talking about lack of education and anti-vaccine and how Republicans are this, that, and the other. I mean, they're just throwing everything negative under the bus if you don't just go ahead, sign up and get the vaccine, when this is a medical situation and it should be between you and your doctor. Not, if you don't go, then you're an anti-vaxxer.
Mhm.
It's
And some people aren't. Some people are just skeptical of that particular. I'll be honest with you, like I'm skeptical of vaccines, not because I'm like anti-vax. I'm just like, if I don't need it, I won't necessarily take it. So I'm a military veteran. Every single year I go to the VA, they ask me about the flu vaccine. I never take it.
me either.
I'm just not a fan. Like I'm not anti-vax, meaning like I'm totally against all vaccines. And I think they're all evil. I'm just not, if I don't need it, I don't take it. And even with COVID-19, I'm continuing to be safe, be honest with you. Like I'm still doing the 50 million hand washings and the mask and the distance and everything.
I have mine,
Sanitizer, traveling with all of it. Traveling with all of it, because so far for me personally, it's been working. And ladies and gentlemen, leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts, man. We would love to hear your side of it, regardless of your side of it. If you're militantly anti-vax, we want to hear you. If you're pro-vaccine, if you think we're nuts for not taking it, you know what I mean? Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear from you guys. But in addition to the cases that Angel has shared, there have been some across the world as well. Like it's not even just Pfizer and Moderna. There are countries over in Europe that have put a pause on the AstraZeneca vaccine because they've seen cases of people getting blood clots after taking that second shot. So it's not just here, and it's not just the first two companies, Pfizer and Moderna. So, this is something that is international. And as of last week, Germany was still going forward with the shot. And then as of Monday this week, they decided to pause as well, out of concern for, the reports that they've been seeing as well. And a lot of the governing bodies that are issuing the directives to take the shot, the World Health Organization here in the United States, the CDC, a lot of these larger organizations are saying that the vaccines are not the direct cause of these people's deaths. But we here on the show, at the very least, wanted to share this information with you so you can be careful. And as we always say, do your homework, right? Google is free, do your homework. Absolutely.
On the CDC website, there are links to the vaccine reporting system.
Yes.
When there's an event of death, VAERS website, yep. You can actually report an event. You don't have to be a doctor. So if you have a family member that's had an adverse reaction to the vaccine, go to this website and report it. Because the thing is, any medicine actually has time to be tested over a large sample. So all these vaccines that we have now, and not saying there wasn't an urgency, are still under an emergency approval. They did not go through the 3, 5 year, 6 year testing and, modifications for, we need to take this out. We need to add this, it's technically still experimental. I mean, just lay it out flat. People need to go to their doctor. Everyone has their own personal health history, and make sure that your history, whatever issues you might have or no issues at all, you get the advice of your doctor, not just going and seeing on the TV, they have the vaccines, let me go get the vaccine. You need to consult your personal physician, period. That is the right language that all of these, so-called professionals are supposed to be saying, but they're not. None of them are saying to go see your doctor first before getting your appointment. And I take personally anyone that gives medical advice without saying that disclaimer. You don't know their history. You had Marvelous Marvin Hagler. It's rumored, that, the vaccine took him away from us. Thomas, was mentioning, it was a vaccine, but, without I don't understand the shadiness. I really don't. Like, they're so concerned or so worried about making sure that people take this vaccine. They're skipping a lot of steps. They're not telling people to go to their doctors. And then when something happens, now we're not sure if it's part of the issue. Even though this person was fine before the shot, we can't correlate it. Really? Just miraculously, this person just, couldn't breathe and died out of nowhere after the shot.
Something to think about, guys. So yeah, leave a comment below. And of course, this conversation isn't over. We will be right back after this break. And we will get into detail with the symptoms on the other side of the break. So be sure to stay tuned.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin clean.
The kid does have a
That's
point.
My hand is clean. Yeah.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Let's Clarify. And we are going to now get into kind of the side effects for now. Like, not only, obviously, the death is the most glaring one that we want to talk about, but yeah, let's get into some of these side effects in detail, Angel.
So, see, and this is the thing. It's not even about you dying. It's what you got to live through. So some of the symptoms that you can get from this vaccine, which if you've had the vaccine, you should go see your doctor if you hadn't beforehand. You can get clammy skin. I'm trying to keep it as plain. There's a lot of medical terms. Swelling on the injection site, lightheadedness, dizziness, disorientation to the fact that your cognitive skills are cloudy is what they're attributing that could happen with this vaccine. And this is all that was certified by the trials when they tested it before it was released to the general public. Weakness, loss of consciousness, dizziness, lightheadedness, changes in vision. Now, wheezing can happen. That's respiratory issues. So if you're having a hard time breathing or your chest feels heavy after the vaccine, lethargic, if you get lethargic, meaning, you can't really move that well, you're very tired, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, pain in your bones, abdominal cramps. And then there's been several reports so far of Bell's palsy. Most people don't even know what that is. That is facial paralysis. And you can lose your sight. So great, you won't die from coronavirus 19, but then you don't get to see either.
Possibly.
Possible things that can happen. But that has happened to a couple of people so far that's been reported. It's just a very frustrating thing when we're trying to get ahead of this virus, but it's apparent these steps are getting skipped and they shouldn't be. You need to go and see your family physician before and after you take the shot. You need to be aware of the symptoms and don't dismiss them. Just like if you think you've been exposed, don't dismiss the symptoms. A lot of insurance companies now, and you have to verify if you have insurance, give them a call. A lot of them have virtual doctors now where you don't have to just run to the ER. On your phone, on your computer, you can say, hey, I was at a family member's house, they've been exposed, and now I'm having symptoms. Or that same conversation could be, oh, I just had the shot yesterday, and I'm having these symptoms. you need to partner with your family physician with any of this. It's going on the advice of somebody on the telly or on social media is not, it's not the complete story. Your health has to be in consideration in your decisions.
Right. And to be fair, you know, to consider those who don't have medical insurance, because there's a lot of that, still do the ER thing if you have to. Like if that is your one and only way to get the medical attention, and to, if you have any questions, to address those questions, do that. Like go to the ER and let them know what's going on with you. Let them know your concern. Because there's still a lot of people out here that don't have medical insurance. They don't have access to healthcare. And that's with the recent extension of the ACA. Like there's still a lot of people that aren't insured. Yeah. But yeah, guys, make sure you still get that medical attention, or do whatever homework you can. Talk to family members who have taken the vaccine. If you're somebody that hasn't taken the vaccine yet and you have questions, and you know folks in your family or colleagues that have taken it, talk to those folks before you get, before you get the jab. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you get all of those things addressed and do as much research as possible. And then, of course, just a quick reminder before we get into a little more of our discussion, you see the little link down below for the vaccine adverse events reporting system. So if there's anybody you know of that took the vaccine and they have an adverse reaction, that is the website that you go to report it, okay? That's the link below. But of course, for those of us in the African-American community, Angel, people of color in general, but those of us in the Black community, America has a rough history with Black folks and vaccines. And of course, there's been a big push to, I don't want to use the word coax, but to recruit the African-American community to take the vaccine. Folks like Dr. Fauci have been out there and acknowledging that history. But, let's talk about that history for a minute.
Well, see, acknowledgement would be naming it. So you have the Tuskegee trials for syphilis, Tuskegee, I got you. Tuskegee. My mouth did not want to work just then. Okay. And then you have the generational experiments, DES, for women. My family is a victim of that from the U.S. government, who said they wanted to make sure women were more fertile when they were sterilizing us. I am second generation of medical issues thanks to the U.S. government. Wow. And then you got, even before that, years and years of slaves being tested on, because apparently we don't have pain receptors. So it's okay to cut us open and poke and prod and fill us up with whatever to make sure that the general populace has the best of medical care. You have to, acknowledge that, people have been tested on either by force or by force.
I like that, by force or by force. And of course, you can't have the conversation without talking about Henrietta Lacks, who she didn't even her body was experimented on after she died. Like, they harvested her cells after she died.
Yeah, they took her DNA and came up with all these cures. And you're welcome. Right. Yeah. For all of us that have been here generationally, and Native Americans, and the experiments on women were in Puerto Rico too. It wasn't just here in the U.S., but you have these different government groups and medical groups that took people, this is for your own good, syphilis and experiments on fertilization and cancer. But then we're supposed to just brush over all of that history, which was even up until the late 70s, early 80s. So we're not even talking about that long ago. And then all of a sudden, a lot of us are still alive and remember, oh, never mind all that. You need to sign up for this. So, yeah.
Precisely. There's a lot of stuff to consider.
I'm not, You know, when I sat down and talked to my grandmother about what she went through coming from the Carolinas and was in those lines, because a lot of times you didn't even have a choice. These people just showed up and you had to get in that line. Oh, this is free medical care. That was the promise that she was given. And the women in my family, in that family line, all have medical issues, female medical issues from that, when we were always healthy before.
Interesting.
Yeah. Don't tell me what, you're doing for me. Don't. I'll be all right.
Yeah. So again, guys, do your homework. That is the recurring drumbeat, not only of our show, but of this episode, especially because, as Angel mentioned, this is something you're putting directly in your bloodstream, directly. So make sure you do your homework, make sure you're aware of your family's history, because as Angel mentioned, second generation, there are certain things that get passed down in the DNA as a result of certain medical experiments and things like that. So make sure you research your family history one way or another, whether that's through 23andMe, Ancestry.com, if you don't have access to the medical side of things, if you don't have your family to ask those questions.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do that research for sure. For sure. But now we are going to take our final commercial break, and then of course wrap things up. You guys always know we like to leave you guys with the call to action. We've been kind of banging out the call to action the whole episode because this one's pretty urgent, because it has to do with the COVID-19 vaccine. And you're kind of in a catch-22 right now. You're taking a risk to catch it, and the virus itself is deadly. And then you also have the vaccine, which has its risks of potentially harming you. Right. But stay tuned. We'll be right back on the other side of this break to wrap things up.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
Welcome back to Let's Clarify, guys. As we wrap up here, one thing I did want to mention, just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, Angel, about African Americans and the experimentation. There are cases out there, guys. If you read some of the deeper stories, there are folks that are dying as a result of the vaccine, and they're not having the autopsies done. There's a African American woman who recently died in Gloucester shortly after receiving the second dose. Obviously, nobody's claiming that the vaccine is the direct cause of her death, but interestingly enough, there's no autopsy being done, on her body after her death to find out precisely what happened there. So that is also, something for you guys to consider. Like, if something happens in your family, make sure you push for that. You know what I mean? Find out the why. Yeah, find out the exact why, because as of right now, since the CDC and the WHO and all these larger organizations are saying that the deaths are not directly correlated, find out concretely in black and white. Like, push, if it's your family member, push to get that autopsy done. Like, however that's going to look, whatever that's going to take, whatever kind of support you have to garner from the people in your network, whatever that looks like, definitely push to get that done, because that will likely point to the vaccine, whether, folks would want to hear that or not, or at the very least, it would point to any particular health issues that person had before they took the vaccine. Because sometimes it's none. And there are times when there are underlying health issues that could be exacerbated by the vaccine. So for someone like me, and this is another reason why I don't take it, guys, full transparency, I'm somebody that has adult onset asthma. I'm not too excited to take that thing, to be honest with you. Like, I'm staying as safe as possible because I know how deadly COVID-19 could be for someone like me who has asthma. But at the same time, I'm not in a rush to go get the vaccine either. And someone like me, like as a veteran, the doors have been open for me for a long time, but I'm still being careful as careful as possible. So, make sure you guys push for that in your families as well. Right. Any last words?
Right now, the White House is pushing for more than 2 million shots a day. Again, yet they don't tell you to see a physician. That's going to be the message today. Consult your physician, do your research. The CDC website does have the results of the trials of who died and how many and what the percentage is. There is a percentage, and that's something that's being skipped over. So out of 1,000 people, whatever that percentage is, you could be one of them. Whether it's 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, it's still a risk. There is risk factors in taking this shot. So it's so important for you to see your family physician, to know your family's history, and if something happens, go and report on the VAERS website. So we have to speak up. We have to be our own advocates. And your decision is between you and your doctor, not you and the television. That's gotta go somewhere. It's not you and the television, it's you and your doctor that makes the decision.
Absolutely. Well said. And ladies and gentlemen, as you see, once again, that link is on the bottom of your screen if you want to take a look at the vaccine adverse event reporting system. So make sure you follow that link to take a look. All right. And if you need to go on the CDC website, make sure you take a look at that as well to do your homework. All right. As always, Angel, it is a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
And absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, be sure to like us, share, subscribe, follow, all of that fun stuff. You can find us on Facebook. This show airs on Facebook at our FNN News TV Facebook page. So be sure to check us out at FNN News TV. And of course, all of our socials are streaming on the bottom. If you want to go on Instagram and drop Angel a note specifically, ask her any questions, you can find her at A4Amazing. All right, you'll find us at Florida National News over on Instagram if you want to drop your comments there as well. And of course, use the hashtag Let's Clarify so we can continue to chop it up in the comments. And hey, if you have any research topics for us, any show ideas, leave a comment on that below as well. We would love to hear from you guys. We'd love to keep the conversation going. And hey, to do some digging on your behalf. We love to do that. We love to keep you guys informed so that you can go out and inform your network as well. All right. But thank you guys so much. Continue to stay safe. COVID-19 is still out here, even with all the vaccines, even with all the spring break stuff. Don't get caught up, y'all. Continue to stay safe. Wash your hands, mask up, practice your distance. Exactly. Mask up. But yeah, Angel, always a pleasure. You take care. Ladies and gentlemen, take care as well.